You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Podcast. This is episode number 164 of East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. I'm Jeremiah Morrell. Today I am joined by intern Mason Rottinghaus, co-host Dakota Davis, and producer Chris Guffey.
Today's episode features the four of us. This is a host-only episode. We are going to be recapping the 2020 Henry County / Indiana / United States of America primary election that just happened this past Tuesday. It was a big one. We have just come off of the candidate series, and we're going to run down the numbers. We have a good breakdown of kind of all the votes that happened in this race. We're going to tell you who won. We're going to tell you some interesting statistics that came from the primary election. Then we're also going to tell you about society collapsing as we know it. The world is changing at an ever-increasing pace, and 2020 is a chaotic year, and we need to bring order back into it. So we're going to talk about that, give our opinions a little bit. And then we are also going to talk about how cringy President Trump was whenever he paid a visit to the Catholic Church in Washington, D.C. So make sure you stick around until the very, very end.
Point of information, I don't think it was the Catholic Church.
It's St. John's Cathedral, right?
It was a church.
I think it's a Catholic
We'll have
church.
intern Mason look it up. The show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you. Other times we'll make you laugh. But hopefully you'll always learn something new. We just did a Patreon. That was cool. About 20 minutes of us of riffing, having some fun, talking, doing things that we do. Dakota, what do people get if they join the Patreon?
That's right. Patreon.com/BossHogOfLiberty. That's where you can go to support the show each and every month. That is where our monthly donors sign up. Intern Mason Rottinghaus is in the house right now, and he is a Patreon member. How much do you pay per month to the show?
$150 pennies. I mean,
it's like Priceline.com. You name your own price. And
it's what, $1.57. We encourage $5 or more a month, but Mason does his own thing, so you can do your own thing too. And if you do your own thing, there are different tiers. If you go to Patreon and look at our site on there, look at the profile. They start at $5 a month. We give you all kinds of access to a Patreon secret Facebook group. We give you access to show notes before the show even happens, and we just finished recording a bonus 20-minute episode just exclusively for the people on Patreon.com.
If you listen to that, you'll hear why Mason's mad at Chris and why Mason was in the worst mood I've ever seen him in my life on Sunday afternoon.
That's right.
You also hear us being very sweet on Zach and thanking him for a number of things. And the Bertrams are triplets now. All of the Zachs in the chat, Zach Lee and Zach Bertram, are saying that it's the Episcopal or the Episcopalian Church.
That's pretty much Catholic.
I don't think they roll up to the same pope.
Zach Lee would probably be the only one that had a hard line disagreement with that, being the Catholic that he is.
Well, that's it is what it is. Do we do our thank yous?
No, we did not. I was going to say, at $50 or more a month, then we promise to give you a shout out at the front of every episode. Those folks are Chris Lamb, Christy Avery, Jonathan Phillips, our favorite car dealership manager, and Craig DaCosta from all the way in Kauai, something like that.
Hawaii. He's unreachable, just like Canada. I was supposed to go to Canada next week. Not allowed. Trump says I can't. You also can't go to Hawaii.
You can't go to Hawaii?
They closed the borders. I believe they're shut down too.
It takes 6 months to get a passport.
Yes. Tell us, have you checked your passport lately?
In process. They change it though.
Process or progress?
In process.
In process. What changed?
Well, it used to say if you're traveling within the next 2 weeks, contact us. Now it says, due to the COVID-19 outbreak, we cannot give an estimate on when passport applications will be processed and received, or blah 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 blah. Yeah. So
what's up, MP? I see you in the chat. Got your sticker on the laptop. Good to see you out there. Hope you and Chabrel are doing well. So you applied for passport in April.
It received
it was
on
February.
February, yeah, and it was received on the 4th of March. Then it was 4 to 6 weeks. It's been 12, I think. Yeah. So
yeah, there are actually senators that have started writing letters complaining to the State Department saying, "Hey, get your people back in here." But apparently they do everything in the passport office analog. They don't digitize anything.
Of course.
So your actual passport application document is what they have. And because they all have social security numbers on them, they don't want to take them out of the building and send them home with people to do remote work. So they can't process them.
yeah.
That's essentially what the problem is.
Well, I can give anybody it. I don't care if you have it. I have nothing to my name. You can take it and do what you want with it.
Oh my gosh. All right. So
Give it out right now then.
769.
No, stop.
That's my phone number.
Stop. That will, ring them up. Hit them up.
We also have merchandise stores at cheatchip.com/BHOL1, BHOL2, or BHOL3. Producer Chris Guffey is going to put those in the chat for you if you want some easy access. There's also a note published on our Facebook page that has all of the links. Also, before we get too far into the main show, talking about the primary elections, we are actively looking and encouraging local businesses and local institutions around the area. You don't necessarily have to be local, but a lot of our listener base is local. But we are looking for advertisers. We would love to look, and we would love to advertise for local places and try to help you as much as what we can, and you try to help us as much as you can. That would be fantastic.
We had a great relationship with Wylands through the candidate series, and we know that this is a platform for folks to be reached, and we want to help you grow your business. So if you are interested, send out a DM to myself or Dakota, and we can try to work something out.
We've done Wylands, we've done the Slick Pickle, we've done Big Bounce, we've done Montgomery Steakhouse.
We've had a number of partnerships over the years.
We have a good resume built up.
So we did not do a primary show last night.
No.
Or last Tuesday night.
I got a couple of Facebook messages
I had
about
a number of people saying, "Hey, where are you guys at? When's the show? How do we get the results?" And I said, "I don't know. Contact the parties. They'll tell you who won." I wound up just going over to tax raising Aaron Dickens' house, that borderline commie socialist, and drinking beers in his garage and watching the results come in.
At least Darren wasn't there. He's a real socialist. I know for a fact now.
Have you got a beef with Darren?
Well,
Is
we'll
there
just
a problem?
leave it at that.
Has there been an incident?
We'll just leave it at that.
All right. I'm telling you, if he,
I gotta, because of Darren, I have to be careful what I say on this show now.
Don't worry about that much longer.
It's live ammo. We play with live ammo around here. Sometimes things happen. So the Henry County Council, we had last week 4 candidates were on the Republican side. Clay Morgan, Betsy Mills, and Harold Griffin all advanced. They are the incumbents. So they moved on. The
Travis
big news,
Lyle was on the show.
Travis
last
Lyle
week.
did not get enough to knock out any of the incumbents. The previous 2 weeks, we had candidates on for commissioner. In the first week, Bobby Plummer was on. She faced off against Jeff Lane, and Bobby won. I think it was roughly 52 to 48. It was a very close race.
Yeah, very close. That's one of the most interesting things, and I've said it on the show a bunch of times, but one of the most interesting things whenever you get the numbers of how many votes this person won against another person, especially in local elections, you see how close they can get. And then you constantly are hearing people say that their vote doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it really matters a lot.
No, you decide, and especially when you have a relatively low turnout election like you had in this case. I think there were about 5,500 Republican ballots cast and somewhere around 2,000 Democrat, somewhere in that range. So about 7,000 people in a county, 50,000 turned out for this primary. The middle district had the big news of the primary. Kim Cronk, who was our guest 2 weeks ago, he was defeated by Steve Dellinger, we were unable to get on the show. We're going to try again in the fall to get Steve on. But Kim's been in county government for decades now, and somewhat of a surprise, at least if you look at the number of times he's been reelected. The party made a change. The voters went with Steve.
I would say probably the biggest surprise about that was not only Kim losing, but he lost by 1,200 votes.
Yeah, and it's similar. Obviously, wind has been the big issue in the county, the industrial wind ordinance that the commissioners control. And for about the last 3.5 years, I would say that's been a very big deal in local government. Kim had an independent challenger 4 years ago and did survive. But this time, just like what happened in 2018 with Commissioner Baker in the Northern District, the anti-wind challenger won.
Well, it's a good tactic as far as I'm not saying that Bobby. We talked to Bobby. I don't believe that her only sole issue is. I don't think she's a one-issue candidate. I really think she has the best interest of the county in her mind. However, with that being said, I think that the people that are running on the anti-wind issue, it's a good strategy they have to just run as Republicans in the primary, because there's always typically lower vote out in the primary. We saw when David Herring ran as an independent against the incumbent Republicans, it wasn't working. They face the same issues that every independent or third party candidate faces in an election.
Yeah,
and they realized that, changed their strategy because. Let's face it, people Bobby.
In 2016, they were late to the game.
She definitely, like she told us on the show, she's a lifelong Republican. So just because she has some disagreements with a sitting Republican doesn't necessarily mean that she has to run independent. But that was a good strategy played by that particular wing of the Republican Party in the county.
In 2016, the folks that are activated that are that wing of the party were not actively Republicans.
Yeah.
And they were not involved with the process back in January and February of 2016 to affect who was going to be on the ballot and actually be able to wage a campaign. I think that was the biggest issue at that time, and it's taken 4 years to build this. Okay. In other news, Tom Saunders, state representative, has secured the nomination again for District 54. He beat Jeff Embry, and Embry, I think, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but roughly 27% of the vote.
Yeah.
I mean, it was about a 3-1. Jeff has run, I think this is the third time he's run, but this is definitely the most active campaign.
Really put in a lot of work this time, had as much work as what he could. I really believe that had, the social distancing guidelines and the stay-at-home orders not been in place, I think we would have seen him out walking a lot more, trying to meet with voters more. But regardless of that, I love Tom. I'm happy that Tom won. I think that Tom is a great guy, and I'm happy that he's back in.
Tom's been a good friend of the show the last few years. Hopefully, well, we don't know that he's back in yet. There's still time. There's still another roughly 25 days for the Democrats or the Libertarian Party to add a candidate in that race. So nobody was elected yesterday at all. There's no guarantee that any of these folks have been elected. And as I said to end the show last week, if I had the opportunity to bring folks on in District 54, if we didn't only have a 3-week window, we probably would have had Tom and Jeff on the show, and then had the congressional candidates on again. On the congressional side, we have a 3-way repeat of exactly what happened in 2018.
That's correct.
Now incumbent Greg Pence has he won renomination. Janine Lee Lake
by a landslide.
Yeah, it was not very close. Janine Lee Lake won very strong as well against George Holland and Barry Welsh. So Janine is going to be the Democrat nominee, and then Tom Firkinoff, who was he's been a guest on this program in the past. Tom is the Libertarian nominee, as he was set up a couple months ago at the Libertarian Convention. So that's going to be a fun 3-way race as well. So,
absolutely. Looking forward to having all three of them in
as
the
long
studio.
as we can get one to answer press calls.
Well, you're just spiteful today, aren't you? Is it the heat? Is that why you're grumpy?
I'm always grumpy right now.
We're all a little grouchy.
It's probably because he's wearing jeans and a long sleeve shirt.
I know.
And it's 85 degrees out.
I know. Sometimes I keep my work building cold.
Have you ever learned that you catch more flies with honey? If you just go around pissing on everything, it doesn't work.
No, it does.
Does it?
I've seen it on Facebook. It works.
Is that successful?
Very.
You just buy into every cesspool type of comment, and
Always.
you think that's the way to get stuff done?
I think
Yeah.
I think Chris and I share brain wavelengths because I've become so much more disagreeable in like the past 4 or 5 weeks.
Are you becoming a boomer? You just letting yourself be a boomer?
No, I just get irritated with people a whole lot easier. I don't know what it is.
I do
just
too.
have,
Seems like you put up with me a little bit more now, though.
I have
so.
less time.
Chris or me? Or Dakota?
No, Dakota.
It's just that used to I would joke with you, but now I'm being genuine.
So is this still an asshole?
That's funny.
So as is the tradition here, we will extend our invitations to the candidates in the fall. We will do
course.
everything we can. I had a phone log of all the times that I tried to reach out to the Greg Pence campaign, and the submarine strategy is something we've talked about for ages around here. We'll see if that's the strategy they have this time, or if they're going to be out and about in public and having
Let me give a talk to him.
having a great time.
I can bring him on here.
Let me know.
I believe in you.
Thank you. I think I can get him on here.
Well, right after you get Mitch Daniels on.
I got a reply.
That
I
is
love
more than
that.
we got from Greg Pence.
Listen, I think if we were remote and we went up there, we could.
We
get
got
it
a
done.
reply
'Cause,
from the Greg Pence team.
well,
A number of times.
I got a reply
talked
from
to
the man.
his press daughter. I talked to Nicole.
If we went remote, we could get Mitch on here. If we had, we'd have to travel though,
I wouldn't want to travel. I want Mitch to come here.
just to say. You
I
had
like
him in
Mitch.
this. I like Mitch too a lot.
Yeah, I
he'd
think
be-
he's great. I think he's
I
a
don't
good
know.
governor.
In all
I heard
of
he's
this-
he expects Ross Aid to be a quarter full, so they got to find a few thousand
no
more fans
public.
to come in.
No public. It's going to be all students. I'm willing to bet.
Students only, and that's it.
You can't tell your student body that, hey, we're only 25% capacity. We're only letting 5% of the students go to these games.
So what are you
can't
gonna
do
what are you gonna do to your major donors? Because there are donors that get those tickets because
I know.
they
They're-
contribute.
the John Purdue Club. They
You don't contribute
all
anything.
This money. I've got some loans through there. That's enough. But what I'm saying is,
You're just upset that they're going to take away your ability to resell student tickets to the general public at a jacked up price.
I've done no. Don't talk about it. But what I'm saying is,
Zach Bertram's in the chat and says Dakota drives a Buick and eats grape nuts. He's on the fast track to boomerism.
I eat grape nuts every day.
but I think it's not going to go over well. I mean, they're already talking about going face to face lecture through November with no spring break, a week's Thanksgiving break, go through November, and then the
Ball
rest
State's
of this,
doing that.
Yeah, almost all the colleges are, and then the rest of the year virtual. So they have the mixture. But when it comes to football season, like don't get me wrong, basketball season is probably the biggest sports season on campus. But obviously, football brings in more people at the games, more sales and concessions, blah, 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 blah. And students tailgating, you're going to tell people that you can only have, a quarter, and then what percent of that quarter is going to be student sales, student tickets. And then they have to go and try to find a public ticket, which already, drop down to say 20%.
Well, I think it's important for you to bring Mitch Daniels on in July, and we'll talk through it, and we'll solve the problems for him. I'll let you take a night off work and explain to him what he's doing wrong. Putting a pin in the election results here, our very good friend Rob Kendall of WIBC, the Rob Kendall Show, Chicks on the Right, State House Happenings, all of those
Very
shows
good
that
friend.
very good friend. Rob mentioned us this week on Wednesday morning because he's been waging this war against Governor Holcomb and
Rob
saying,
wages a lot of wars.
do not vote for Holcomb in the primary. So another very good friend of the show, Stacey Guffey, who I know is watching, corner candidate.
Stacey Guffey is a good friend of the show.
Stacey
I saw
got the
him
most
yesterday.
votes of any Republican in the county.
Of course.
As Rob Kendall reported
He's
on Chicks on the
universally
Right,
liked.
he beat Governor Holcomb.
Stacey Guffey is an all-round, well-liked American man that anybody would vote for. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Independent. He's a good person.
I like Stacey.
So he beat the governor.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
I think it's impressive.
Governor Guffey. No, right?
Man, I think it's been good
That's
public
how it works.
policy.
Is
It's
this
been good
how
public policy
We
for a
have
long time.
Wild West ranked choice voting where you just put your name on a ballot
And
without
whoever
a
gets the most gets
with-
the head honcho
Yeah.
position.
You don't file for a race. You just say whoever's the most popular becomes the governor.
I think that's how it should be. Yeah.
I think in Henry County for a long time, if you just see a Guffey on the ballot, you vote for it. That's
not the truth. That's not the truth at all.
It's good public policy.
That's not the truth at
You
all.
just see a Guffey and vote for him.
All I'm saying is the last 2 years, there will be 3 Guffeys on the ballot that I know of. And I'm pretty sure nobody. I don't think Stacy's going to be number 2.
Stacy is watching watching this now and hearing it for the first time. Your name was spoken on WIBC at 10:30 on Wednesday, Stacy. I don't know if anybody reached out to you or not, but you were on the 50,000 watt blowtorch for about 2 minutes. So I don't know if the recording is published out there or not, but you were congratulated.
Thanks to you, by the way.
Yeah, I got full credit. I got full credit for the source.
Did you get
little
full
tidbit.
credit or did Boss Hog get full credit?
The Boss Hog for Liberty podcast of East Central Indiana and me by name,
Okay.
roughly, generally.
It just makes sense. You're the only one from Boss Hog that's been on there.
You were invited. You never showed up.
No, I don't show up to those things.
You don't like to travel.
An invite.
I don't travel. Everybody I've ever worked with knows that.
You can go. I'm sure we can get you on the show. You might have to wear a mask at this point. I don't know if anybody gets in there. It's a dangerous place to be. There were shots fired into the building last week.
However, though, more Republicans voted in any other race in the county in the middle district commissioner race than other races, including the presidential race.
Right.
Yeah. That is the one that had the most turnout. People left every other ballot blank except for that one more times than any other time.
Very interesting. 2,171 Democrat votes. 740 undervoted the council one of the council races, and 523 undervoted the other council race. And you noted that 8 Democrats went to the effort of voting for Tulsi Gabbard. Once again, they wanted to vote for Tulsi one last time, like I wanted to be able to vote for our friend Bill Weld one last time.
That came from all these. Most of these stats came from Darren Jacobs, and
Chief researcher Darren Jacobs,
chief researcher,
communist
bastard. 8 Democrats in the county.
I'll say Darren is pretty powerless because the Spiceland School has hay that's about 47 feet tall.
It's mowed.
It's done?
It's done.
Would you push mow it?
It's a hayfield.
I have to get stuff done around there.
Yeah. Well, you'll be running against him next time. Darren has to run for office once every 7 years. Whether
it's
he
a
likes it or not.
hayfield now. They hay it out.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever. I wish that they would do something better with it. I wish that it would turn into a private school. I wish that the folks at the
Jackson there.
I wish that the folks at the Christian Academy out by Westwood Schools would buy the old Westwood School Corporation and use it as a school. I think it's a great idea.
Where's that at?
John Sproles hit me up. I got a really good idea. Anyway, let's go back to this. Yeah, Spiceland would be a great private school, I think.
Tear it down. Put something better there.
Nah.
We don't want any progress. You can't put anything new in.
Yeah, God, we can't bring anything.
It was good enough when
the biggest thing came to
it was good enough
last
before
10 years as a Casey's General Store.
It was good enough before Trio existed.
I've heard rumors.
How much better would it be if we had 3 more independent schools?
I have heard rumors in Spiceland, Indiana.
That Wilson's Market is turning into something?
Yes, that the Wilson's Market is going to turn into a VFW club.
What?
With a bar that is open to the public.
Do the public?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what I've heard.
I'm about to be 21.
Yeah,
wow.
you are.
Don't you have to go?
That's just a
become
rumor
a veteran
right
of the foreign wars.
Just a rumor right now. Like
Not
I
if
said
the
before,
bar's open to the public.
I have to be careful what I say on this show because of Darren.
But doesn't that have to go through Darren in order to get taken care of? So he.
I don't know who you have to bribe to get a liquor permit if you're a veteran. I don't know how that works.
Well,
maybe Chris.
I don't know
Guffey
the
knows.
sale of liquor.
Are you a member of the VFW?
I am not.
What?
Why not?
I just never got into being a member of the VFW, American Legion, any kind of.
He doesn't take advantage of his benefits.
All right, real quick. The 8 Democrats that voted for Tulsi Gabbard, hit me up. You're my people. I want to know who you are.
Self-report. Dakota demands it.
Yes.
All right. So I've had this thought. There was a meme the other day. It was basically history books, and every year was a book. And then 2020 in this meme was about 7 books so far. 2020 part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm starting to wonder if this is what 1968 felt like.
What part are we in?
I think we're in volume 6.
We're in level 6 of
Do you think we're in
Jumanji.
volume 6, or do you think? I think we still might be in 1, and we've just got a whole hell of a lot more to come.
One of my favorite things to do is to watch, obviously I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. I have his face tattooed on my right arm.
You want to show the camera?
And it's too far away. There's a picture on my Facebook page. Just go there. So
unless they have you blocked, because people love to hate you.
Yeah, maybe.
I've
watched a lot of Johnny Cash documentaries over the years, and one thing that I always think about is that Johnny Cash and Martin Luther King Jr. were doing their thing at the exact moment in history. But whenever you watch documentaries or any kind of other television show or any other kind of media, really, whether it's writing, TV, whatever, they are shown in such, it's like a different timeline. It seems like a different timeline whenever you're watching both of them. And maybe that's because progress has marched forward so strongly for Black Americans over the past, since Martin Luther King Jr. was first doing the public transportation strike in the late 50s. But it seems so different, but they were happening at the same time. And I feel like people are going to look back at 2020 and be like, wow, the great pandemic and the race riots of 2020 were happening at the exact same time. I feel like we are in that moment in history.
And it's all happening in the middle of a presidential election.
Yep.
And it's happening
concert season
at a time where everything is getting canceled. And it's happening at a time where there's massive fear and we all have these devices in our hands so that we're never unplugged from it, and it's constant. Everybody had to report yesterday that Comcast was down. Comcast was down for about 14 minutes, and I think I saw it reported by every single radio station, news station. Everybody wanted to click.
There's a book, and it's called Chaos, Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. It is by a fellow named Tom O'Neill. Okay. And it covers Project MK Ultra, and it covers it. He draws all these different connections with Charles Manson, whether he was connected to the CIA.
Something's wired incorrectly in his.
I keep saying Manson.
Charles Manson lives in the big house.
Yeah.
Literally.
But, so he draws all these connections, and it's really interesting. So one thing that I keep thinking about whenever I'm reading through this book, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm reading this book and I'm thinking about the 60s, and I'm thinking Project MK Ultra is happening. Johnny Cash is just released live at Folsom Prison, and Martin Luther King Jr. is marching in the streets. All of these things are happening at the exact same time, the exact same moment in history. They're converging.
Bobby Kennedy's murder too.
That is exactly what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I hadn't really thought about it. Like I thought about it in the back of my mind, but you put it in the show notes today, and I was like, oh yeah, he's exactly right. This is what we're living in.
I feel like, and I've thought about it a number of times going, man, that was a crazy time. Glad I don't have to live through that. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then here we are in a year that, it's just, we look at everything through the eyes of memes now, but it's surreal. And everything's so radioactive that you get in trouble in 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. Drew Brees this week, the legendary Purdue quarterback and New Orleans Saints quarterback, he shared essentially what was this week deemed to be insensitive, but it was very mainstream a year ago commentary about kneeling and the flag and respect, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. 24 hours later, he's apologizing for being way out of line in the way that we look at things on Instagram and in social media now. And Colin Kaepernick, who was vilified a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, to the point where the vice president showed up at a Colts game, went to the effort of showing up just to be mad about a protest and leave publicly before the Colts and 49ers played 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now it's mainstream again. That's how quickly the culture changes.
Well, and I will be the first one to say we've talked about Colin Kaepernick on the show, and I've been one of those people that said I support his right to kneel, but I don't think it's the right time to do it and all this stuff. I've been one of those people, and I would totally take back those comments at this point in time.
Did you do the right thing and change your Instagram to black yesterday?
I
all blacked out Instagram?
No,
Tuesday.
I didn't black anything out.
Blackout Tuesday?
Listen, that's silly. It's silly because I know I'm going to come on here on tonight, Thursday, 2 days later, and I'm going to tell my exact opinion, and the whole world is going to be able to hear it, whether or not I change my freaking profile picture or
And
not.
20 people like it.
Yeah.
It's the meme, right? It's the I'm helping from the Seinfeld, from the Simpsons. That's what I look at it as. It's words, it's not actions, right? How are you actually acting? What are you doing? How are you affecting things? What are you involved in? That's what matters. How do you live your life? What character do you actually show? Not did you change your profile picture?
One thing that this book about the Project MK Ultra and the history of the CIA in the 1960s has been making me think about, in the midst of all of this chaos that we see right now in the world, is that it continues to go back until then. And it has been a continuing problem where the CIA did so many horrible things in so many different neighborhoods with Project MK Ultra, Project Midnight Climax, running cocaine into black neighborhoods and inner cities and giving it to African American drug dealers so that they could sell it on the streets there, who were on the CIA payroll. That is the original story of the real Rick Ross. In case you don't know about that, the real Rick Ross, not the rapper that we know today. Yeah, was a crack dealer, and he was basically caught up in the middle of this giant drug war because he was getting all of his cocaine sourced from the CIA, running it into black inner city neighborhoods. So crime becomes rampant in black neighborhoods. These are black neighborhoods because of redlining that has gone on due to Jim Crow laws and what bankers could do to deal out loans in different areas where they would give out loans, basically in inner cities, creating ghettos and high crime areas in inner cities that still exist to this day.
All because of public policy decisions by the government.
Right. And then you have the war on drugs that happens. And the reason that the drug problem is so rampant is because going back to the CIA running drugs in these neighborhoods, crack cocaine, and dealing out LSD into predominantly African-American brothels that existed in black neighborhoods. It goes back to that. And then we wonder why crime is so high. And then the police get militarized in the 1990s, basically due to the crime bill that Vice President Joe Biden loves to brag about. We give them all of these excess military resources left over from basically the post 9/11 era, and then we don't train them longer on how to deal with this equipment. What their job is, we're giving them military equipment, but we're saying your job basically remains the same, but they know it's not. They know their job's not necessarily the same as it was whenever we see on Matlock and the era of Barney Fife, whenever you have a town marshal. That's not the truth. We all know that. Stop playing games. So you have all of these issues compiled into one. Crime is rampant in these areas because of those. And because of that, police go into these areas more often, and they see crime-ridden neighborhoods that are predominantly black because of these horrible, horrible programs that were enacted going back into the 60s. And maybe they don't have an explicit bias. Maybe they're not wearing KKK hoods on the weekends and in their spare time. But maybe because they see it so often, because we've decimated these neighborhoods so often, they have a bias that exists subconsciously, is what I'm trying to say.
It's all policies. I think it's almost all of it's caused by government policies, and we keep voting for the same people that keep doing the same thing and making it worse. And the more they try to get involved, the worse it gets.
And I've said it a million times on this show. We both said it a million times on this show that we're so grateful to live where we do. And issues like this really highlight it. That we live where we do in a small community where everybody knows each other. We all know multiple members of the sheriff's department, of the city police department. Everybody does. And because of that, you can build relationships with people. That is not a possibility in Indianapolis. It's not possible. It's not a possibility in Minneapolis. It's not a possibility in Detroit, Michigan. It's just, that's not going to happen. But we have that ability here.
Folks that have relationships, they end up in trouble too. The IU football player who's now the concert promoter that was killed in the Indianapolis riots. That's a fellow that had relationships with all kinds of folks. Was it Chris Beatty? Chris Beatty, yeah. It's not. I don't know that it's necessarily all just based upon relationships. It's just things happening around you, because it sounds like it from the early accounts. He was trying to do the right thing and keep somebody from looting a building and got killed.
I've seen multiple videos of that. I've seen a lot of videos of individuals in the movement keeping others from going and bashing things, because I mean, that's not the point, but I see it both ways. They're trying to prove a point, but others are like, that we're proving a point, but peacefully, and
So let's talk about coronavirus a little bit again, as we're trying to navigate through all the stuff happening. This has been the week where it seems like stuff's been getting canceled again. We saw the Indiana State Fair today got the dagger. Basically, the entire Indiana State Fair was canceled with the exception of a couple of livestock shows.
Yep.
For 4-Hers.
This is an intermission, coronavirus, this stuff, and then wait for it, and the virus is going to be right freaking back after all this is over. It sucks.
What about the earthquakes in Yellowstone?
So that's that. I was actually going to talk about that really later, but
let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way right now.
Okay.
Because there was reports of a lot of earthquakes that happened at Yellowstone National Park, and of course everyone's worried about the super volcano that resides under Yellowstone,
allegedly.
And just to put that to bed,
I'm looking.
There are often 3,000 earthquakes a year that happen at Yellowstone National Park. I saw a comment today from a national park ranger who works at Yellowstone and is like, they were nothing. They happen all the time. I don't even understand why this is a story.
The Yellowstone's like due. Like, I won't.
It's not due. It's not due. In like 80,000 years, it will be overdue.
It's due.
What's due?
No. So
when we're talking about the scope of millions of years,
yes,
you can say
it's in the range.
Yeah.
Your life is 20 years at this point.
Okay, but I understand.
So
but
you
I
think,
took a class once.
Okay,
I took a class once, and I actually still keep in contact with this professor, because honestly, the guy really changed my look on a lot of things, and I really was like, I would do this, but there's no money in it. And his name's Andy Freed. Awesome guy. And I talked to him.
Andy Gross?
Yeah, that's how I met you guys. But his name's Andy Freed, Andrew. And we were talking about, I talked to him a couple months ago about the earthquakes out on the San Andreas Fault in California. Because there were 6 or 7 pretty large earthquakes. I said, do you think these earthquakes here, oh my God, are, leading up to something bigger? He goes, no. And there's a lot of reasoning behind it. There's so much that I won't go over it, obviously. But then a couple months ago, the same thing was happening at Yellowstone. It's just people are so desperate right now, for something other than the movement and coronavirus, they have nothing to report. And they're going to say, oh, there were, these earthquakes at Yellowstone. We need clicks. Right. It happens a lot. You're sitting on a super volcano that's half the size of the United States. It goes off, we're all screwed. But there's also 3/4 of America's population out towards, the western line or whatever.
The important thing is
Western
that
Seaboard.
Seaboard, is that what I
the
wanna say?
important thing is that memes are where we get all of our information. And I saw one today that said we're outside of the ash zone, so we're fine where we live here in Central Indiana.
Then those ashes stay in the air for years
simply
and years. We have no sunlight,
like
and we die 'cause we
Sterling
have
and
no
Rockford,
food.
Illinois. But otherwise, we're
So
fine.
we eat grass, but
Good to go.
super cool guy. I think maybe we can have him on here one time. He'd be a fun guy to have. But yeah, he's nothing to worry about. So
We have the whole month of July. Work your magic.
I think
The
I
month
can
of
maybe
July
get
is
down here.
open.
Super cool guy. Used to work for NASA. Well, he worked indirectly with that NASA. He actually made the rocket boosters that sent. Well, this sounds bad, but he worked on them in Utah and was working for them when the Challenger went up. And he'll tell you straight up that it was, they said send it, but that's for him to tell. If I can get him on here, that'd be really cool to have him.
And then after him, can you get Elon Musk?
No, I can't even get him to tell me his kid's name correctly.
Chase Python just walked in the door.
Welcome back, buddy.
Did you wake up?
You have to turn that mic on there, producer Chris.
I don't want this.
No, his mic is on.
We put this back in the fridge, Dakota.
Chase,
want that.
let's hear something from you. Hello.
Can you hear me?
We do. We got you. You sound fine. Are you well rested?
I'm well. Yes.
You ready to leave for New York tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, you get top bunk.
I like the top bunk.
He just turns
Okay.
up a little bit there, buddy.
$28 for your week-long fishing license in New York. So go ahead and buy it.
It's going to be a great time. Going to be a great time. Dakota just ran away. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. You think so? I think a major
Yep,
transaction
there
is
it is.
going on in there.
I hear the fan.
Oh shoot! So we were just getting around to all the stuff that's canceled. Chase,
Ooh.
Mason, and I are supposed to go to Garth Brooks, and
See Tracy Lawrence. Sam
they
Kershaw.
canceled that concert. Our money's coming back to us, I guess.
What?
The Garth Brooks concert.
It sure will not be canceled.
Yeah, it's
They'd
supposed
be
to be
doing you a favor, Garth Brooks. Sucks.
Shut up.
It's supposed to be
Chase.
June 26th at the
27th.
June 27th at the Paul Brown Stadium,
Brown Stadium.
where the Browns don't play, but they play there once a year. And so we got
They might go to a game, but they show up for one a year there.
So that's off the calendar. You and I were supposed to go. This is going to be the year of concerts. You and I were supposed to go see Joe Diffie and Tracy Lawrence, and that's not happening.
We don't.
Do we
have
know an
that word
official?
yet.
That's at the Jay County Fair.
We do know the Jay County Fair did book a new local band for the free concert series. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out within a couple days.
So that
weeks,
one's in flux. Today, the Indiana State Fair announced they're not happening. This week, the Moreland Free Fair said that they're skipping this year because it's impossible to follow the state's directives.
Last week, I was refunded for my lawn pass at Ruolf, so
that's not happening. And the devastating news for me today, Chase,
Yeah.
the Brickyard 400, Grand Prix of Indianapolis, the whatever the Xfinity Nationwide Busch Series, Grand National Series road course race in the infield, that's all fanless this year.
Oh,
So
man.
I
What are you
can't go to
gonna do?
that. I can't. I'm going to
You know
go
what you
camping.
could do is you could watch it in your camper and act like you're there.
I'm going to basically do that.
I
I'll
know
be at
Guffey.
Clifty Falls instead. Instead of being at the Speedway, I'll be at Clifty Falls.
Guffey's really upset he can't go to FGL Fest and see Florida Georgia Line. They're in the infield this year.
Hey, listen.
I'm so
I've seen Florida
disappointed
Georgia
I
Line
can't go to
live.
that stuff.
Hold on. Wait, what are you going to say, Chase?
They were really good.
Get out of the building.
They were. But
Get out of the building.
it was in Florida. It was right before the Florida Georgia game. So they showed out. It was in like 2014 as well. So
How
it was-
much beer did you have in you? Were you looking through your beer glasses?
I think I was
2014, he probably didn't
wasn't
have
old
any.
enough.
I think I was sober. I think I had just turned. No, I was 19.
You were 19.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So you were.
So
the
I
same
might have had
age.
one.
This
You
is
were
a
just-
safe place, Chase. You don't have to hide. You're
So-
old enough.
so
There's
you were just
the
kinda-
people from Florida can't prosecute you.
Well,
here.
no, I might have had one, but I wasn't drunk. I was with my ex.
So you just had bad taste, truly bad taste.
Wait, you dated someone other than Katie?
Now it seems like a lifetime ago.
God, I thought you guys were 40 years deep.
not bring it
already.
up.
But
Touchy
it
subject.
wasn't that ex. It was in Florida. But no, it was a really good show.
Well, I will never be on a show that also has Chase Peyton on it again after he says that. I sat in the parking lot for a Florida Georgia Line concert.
I've been watching a lot of UFC fights. There have been 2 UFC fights that have gone down since the pandemic, and they have both been fanless. And one was in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. No fans, but they still did it in a stadium. And then the second one was actually at the UFC facilities in Las Vegas or in Reno, Nevada. And that one was even stranger. I thought it was weird.
I heard University of Southern California at Nevada. That's not what you said. You didn't say USC.
I said UFC. Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yes. The NATO phonetic alphabet is going to be your friend.
Yeah. I never used the letters U, F, and C, so I don't know what the phonetic alphabet is. I know Charlie.
Uniform,
Foxtrot, Charlie.
Foxtrot. I know Foxtrot and Charlie. What's the
uniform?
Uniform.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta.
Okay, that's
Echo.
enough. I'm already over. I've lost track, and I don't want to learn it.
It's the most efficient way to have a phone call with somebody.
My most used letters are Bravo, Foxtrot, Tango, Sierra.
Okay.
And Charlie, Lima. Yep. That's it.
Delta, Golf, India.
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. We're not going to go through the whole thing.
X-ray.
I'm over it.
Papa. All right.
Yankee?
What's Z?
Zulu.
I think Yankees won.
I was asking.
What's
Mason.
Q? Here we go. What's Q?
I don't know.
We're not allowed to say that word anymore, guys.
Quebec.
Huh.
We were going to go.
Canada disclosed.
Wait, you sir?
Moose should have told you out front.
We were going to go to Montreal. So anyway, you're right. Sports has slowly come back. I'm glad Chase is back for the sports desk. UFC's on. NASCAR has been doing 2 a weeks. There have been like 7 NASCAR races in 30 days. And IndyCar is back on Saturday. They're at Texas Motor Speedway. No fans. Chase, what's going on with baseball? When do we get to watch your Yankees?
Baseball's dead, Jer.
Bad news.
I'm canceling.
Are they with
baseball.
my Expos? What's going on?
Basketball's going to come back. Football's going to play. Probably start as normal. And
Hockey's going to have a huge playoffs.
Baseball's dead.
Why is baseball so damn difficult?
Because the owners suck.
It's the owner's fault.
Yes.
It's Steinbrenner.
It's the play.
No, he's okay. It's the other owners.
Bud Selig.
No, Steinbrenner sucks. I don't even think he's paying the minor leaguers.
I'm running out of owners at this point.
Derek Jeter, baby.
Oh, he owns the Miami Marlins.
Marlins.
Yeah, the Florida Marlins. Who else owns teams? I don't even know.
Michael Jordan.
Oh,
He owns a baseball team?
I believe so, yeah.
I thought he owned the
I think
Bobcats.
he's in
No.
with
the
Derek
Hornets.
Jeter, isn't he?
no,
Michael
he
Jordan's?
owns the Charlotte Hornets.
Yes, I know he owns an NBA team, but I think he's in with Jeter on the Marlins.
He might be. I don't know.
The Ricketts
The
own
guy
the
who owns
Cubs.
the
I know
guy
that.
who owns the Bulls. He was just in that Jordan.
Jerry
documentary.
Reinsdorf.
Yeah, he owns the White Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I buy that for $1. And Marge Schott, of course, owns the Reds. So that's good.
No one cares who owns the Reds.
The chat will catch up here in a minute and realize that's hilarious. She's been dead for 25 years. She was a bit on the Bob and Tom show.
Oh, really?
Yes. Voiced by Mark Patrick. She was a chain smoking. Opening day for the Reds is a big deal, right? Mm-hmm. Massive deal. They're like they're like the Dallas Cowboys of Thanksgiving Day. They always get to host it. The Reds always have opening day. The home plate umpire died of a heart attack on the day of opening day, and they canceled the game. And she was pissed that they didn't roll out number 2 and have it anyway for them. So anyway, that's my Red story. We're supposed to get into the Trumpy thing, Dakota.
You put this on here.
I did. I've been triggered. I've been somewhat triggered by it this week.
I saw the funniest TikTok yesterday. It might have been earlier today, and it was the protest, And there was one transgender girl, or I don't know what it was. I'm not even trying to be mean.
I think I'm familiar. They were on a square, and
they're on a square, and she's screaming, and she's like, "Come at me!" And then it's a Trump supporter.
Some 22-year-old Trump
It's
supporter.
just so funny. It reminded me of my friends on Facebook
with his shorts and cowboy boots
Yeah.
and mega hat. Yeah. I seen it on the TikTok as well. I can confirm it exists.
Yep, it is.
It was pretty funny.
I don't know the orientation of that individual either.
No, I'm not even trying to be mean. I just don't know.
Jeremiah's a female. So
I did check my fishing license. Apparently, I bought a female's fishing license. So I don't know if that means I can only catch like 90% of the fish of everybody else because of the glass ceiling. I don't know how
like
that's
77.
yeah, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I think it's like 73 to my one.
Well,
or
it's
something.
I'm going to a very progressive state, so I'm hoping that it's better.
Jeremiah doesn't like to catch fish.
I provide a guide service.
Yeah, he's a captain of a boat. I can tell you that.
I had a beautiful bass on Saturday, Chase, and I need all of you that ride in my boat and come hang out with me to buy me a new foot trolling controller. I had probably a 2-pound largemouth on it at Brookville, and I'm trying to keep my tension up, keep my rod tip up, and my trolling motor still running,
Thinks
and
about it too much.
I can't use my foot to turn it off. So I'm trying to use both hands on the pole, and I got to grab that damn thing that's around my neck to turn it off. And I almost ran the boat into the shore. I got the fish just to the side of the boat, and it was a quick release.
He does that a lot, even when he's not trying to catch a fish. You'll be casting to the shore, and then a minute later you're right on.
That trolling motor is a pain in the ass with the neck controller.
I think a foot controller would have been good purchase for this trip.
Well, I tried to send it into the ag tech over there to get it fixed, and it didn't happen.
Could you maybe go? Maybe we could go quick trip to Cabela's in the morning.
We need a. I think it's like an off-brand. It's not a Minn Kota.
Moto.
It's
Motor Guide.
Motor Guide. Yes, it's a Motor Guide wireless, and they probably haven't made that in like 5 years. So we're probably SOL.
I can find one. Find anything on the internet.
Anyway, I need my my co-anglers to spring for
I
that.
got a nice size crappie on the line.
It's a little pricey.
Didn't mean to catch it. Honestly, I was just reeling in my bait, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh, I got fish on a hook," and I reeled it in.
It was a very nice crappie. It's in my freezer now. And then my father-in-law Kevin caught a
redneck he is.
Caught a very nice catfish.
It was catfishing.
And then Mason was dinking around. It wouldn't get the pole. It wouldn't get the net out of the boat. He was looking in the wrong spot.
No, what happened? Don't let Jeremiah lie to you. I'm going to the correct spot. I know the net is here on this left-hand side. If you're looking at the front of the boat.
You put it in the wrong place and you knew where it was.
Why are you going? It's in this one. It's in this one. I open it.
In his defense,
There's 3 life jackets in there. That's it.
when you're the guy that has to grab the net, that's like one of the most stressful moments of your life. Because the person with the fish on the hook is always flipping out.
Yeah, they're busy.
And then
It's high pressure.
9 times out of 10, it's not your boat. And you're like, where's the net?
Real men don't use those things, man.
Yeah.
So he got the net,
grab
got him
the
out of
net.
there, and then Kevin proceeded to get stung by the catfish because of Mason.
He was trying to get grip behind the horns and cut it right in between the fingers. I just laughed. I like it. Sorry, Kevin.
Thought he was going to bleed out on us out there. So it was a good time though. We had
It's hot. It was a good day. I got my nice wrist burn. I got my
All right,
permanent
please
watch.
continue with your President Trump triggering story.
So here's the thing. The president decided he was having a press conference and he just said, you know what? Let's go for a walk and I'm going to go to this church. Have you guys been to the White House?
Yeah.
Like, you've been to the outside of the White House?
Yep.
So the north side
I've never been there.
Okay. So the north side of the White House is Pennsylvania Avenue. And then there is a city park. And then it's basically a block or half a block for that park. And then just beyond that is a church. It's a church that presidents have visited since John Adams, or James Monroe or whatever. I mean, going back to the, either our second or our fifth president. Generations of presidents have been there. So Trump decides he's going to show up. He doesn't call them. He doesn't give them a warning. He just says, let's go. Secret Service. He's got the attorney general with him. I mean, he's got all kinds of people. The Secret Service then respond by just clearing the way for the president. So he walks through the city park, displaces all of the protesters that are out there protesting because of the civil unrest that's going on. And
Are you sure it's Secret Service?
yeah, it was Park Police, Secret Service.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wasn't traveling without the Secret Service.
Well, yeah, but I thought I read it was the Park Police that did it.
I know for a fact that I saw in some of the pictures, the Secret Service were with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that they were there, but the enforcers for the president were there. And he went through the public park. That's one thing. Fine, whatever. But then he shows up on the property of the church and the church members, the church staff are out there passing out water, doing whatever they're doing on their private property. He doesn't ask them to move. He basically has the Secret Service and whatever other authorities are there remove them by force, by spraying, as the reporters at the time said, tear gas. They put tear gas out. So you're standing in your front yard, Dakota, of a building that you own and maintain and have, and all of a sudden, neighbor dude, who's more powerful than anybody else on the planet, decides he's going to show up, and they just throw you off your ground. You get gassed.
Yep.
For a photo op.
So they were, yeah. So
That was awkward as
hell. He takes
hell.
a picture with the Bible and he's holding it upside down.
He takes a picture with the thing, and then the media that followed him over is like,
"Are
is
you
that
Joe
your-"
Biden now?"
with the item. I can't guarantee it was a Bible. It was a book that looked like a Bible. And he says, "It's a Bible. Is it your Bible?" It's a Bible. It's a Bible. That's all he would say. And then he spoke in his Trumpisms of it's going to be great, yada, 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 yada. I don't know what he's trying to prove, what the point was, but somehow the defenders of the president started saying, well, it wasn't tear gas. It was a gas that caused tears.
There's two different types of tear gas. One is actually tear gas. The other is a type of natural gas that just basically smells bad. I think it's actually called scat gas, right? You would probably know more about this than I would.
I don't know. I've only inhaled CS gas.
How is any
CS
of
gas
this?
is actually tear gas.
How
Yeah,
is
it
any
sucks.
of this okay?
And I think one is called scat gas, and it's supposed to be like an all-natural gas.
Okay,
It's vegan.
lovely.
Which is weird.
Don't spray it at me when I'm at my church.
Yeah, it's
It's got 0 GMOs in it.
but it is, there is technically a difference. And then what I saw later on Twitter is one reporter, they picked up two different cans that were fired at him, and one was actual tear gas and one was the scat gas.
So they may have used both.
They
I don't
used
care what the product was.
Maybe
Yeah.
they just.
I don't
emptied out
care
their
if they were
normal
smoke
thing.
bombs. I don't care if they were tear gas. I don't care if they were equate tear gas. That is not right.
Equate tear gas.
That is so far beyond what we should be doing. It's unbelievable. It is parallel universe crazy.
It's one thing if there is a planned, if there's a planned appearance of the president at the location and they have to clear a crowd. That's one thing. What makes
was
this
spontaneous.
different is that he just
the
said,
damn phone
"Let's go.
and call."
Let's just go. Let's walk." And I think that what it was is because
What happened to property rights?
in the midst of chaos during Bill Clinton's term, he went and took a photo holding the Bible in front of the same exact church. Did you know that?
Yeah, I've seen the pictures today.
Yeah, he did the same thing.
Clinton probably called first and went in the church.
Probably.
I would
but I'm
imagine-
sure that
Bill Clinton actually went to church.
but I'm sure that was going through Trump's mind whenever he was giving his speech in the garden, and he thought, I need to do that too. So I'm going to go and I'm going to hold this Bible upside down.
All right. Here's my question. 1 being an absolute nothing, 10 being this is ridiculous, as bad as it gets. I want to go around the room and I want a number on the number scale. We'll start with producer Chris, who's actually been tear gassed.
Yeah. That sucks. So let me
So wait,
see.
hold on.
So
For clarification, are we
One
saying
is-
how bad the tear gassing is or how bad the optic in general is?
how bad? Yeah, how bad?
How
tear
bad was
gas?
this stunt?
Oh,
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The
right?
stunt.
It's
Okay.
it's all included. How it was a shitty, terrible photo op that didn't work well. It was the fact that he used force against voluntary protesters and people that owned that property that belonged there to throw them out. All the folks he endangered. The fact that he made the public, the public authorities do that for him on his behalf. All of those. I want to know. 10 being this is the worst possible. 1
Jared,
being no nothing.
Jesus had to turn over the temple tables.
All right. Well, you're going to give me a number in a minute.
I'm probably at 8.5. I think what could have made it a lot worse.
As if he killed somebody.
Well, yeah, but also rubber bullets. That could have been a lot worse. But
Yeah.
I'm at an 8. 8.5.
And the media was reporting that they were firing rubber bullets into the crowd, and they found out later that wasn't at all the case.
But yeah, CS gas just blows, dude. It's hard to operate or do anything. So we go through the gas chamber in basic training.
Does anyone know, real quick?
Yeah.
I want to ask you this question before you get to
Okay.
your story. Do you know what type of filter you need on a mask to block out CS gas?
N95.
I do not.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so we go through it in basic, and you have your gas mask on.
I would guess some sort of like an orange essential oil and some charcoal is all you're going to need.
Oh my gosh. And you go through and you take it off and you're walking out. You have your rifle in one hand and your gas mask in the other. And you don't want to rub your eyes. And next thing you know, you get outside in fresh air and it hits your face and it just goes snot just going out the nose, back of the throat, tears. And
Why?
like you're just trying to walk forward and it's awful. I would not recommend it to anybody.
Why does it cause that reaction whenever you get in fresh air?
I don't know. It sucked while I was in the building, but then when fresh air got in and it hurt me so much more.
So it clears you out pretty good.
Oh yeah. Oh
You think
yeah.
that would
Get rid of the
cure-
coronavirus?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I bet it could.
All right, Chase. Guffey says it's an 8. What say you?
It doesn't surprise me.
So we're not having to grade on the Trump scale.
It looks bad. I'm going to give him a solid 6.5.
All right.
He didn't kill anybody.
That's all that matters. Mason.
He's the president. He can do whatever he wants, Chair.
Mason just voted for Trump.
Yeah, so maybe it's a 1.
I'd say about 6. I mean, you say we're not going off the Trump scale, but I mean,
If
That makes it different.
If Barack Obama did it or George W. Bush did it, what's the number?
6.
Well, if George W. did it, I'd have to give him a 1. Because my grandpa said he was the greatest man to ever live. But
Why?
if
Give me
Obama
your
did
reasoning.
it,
It's like, I mean,
I give him... I'm going to go with the 6 on the safe side.
All right.
I think again, the rubber bullets come in that factor. Like, I mean, it's not like they're out there, get the hell away, releasing these things that, I mean, yeah, they break skin, but they don't kill, or they could, but
Rubber bullets?
yeah.
You don't
take
think
out
they
an
break
eye.
skin?
No, I'm saying they do break skin.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm saying they break skin. Yeah, they break skin, but
Rubber bullets can
They're
kill
not.
you. You're supposed to aim them at the ground. I mean, you're not supposed to directly fire them into flesh.
okay, well,
Headshot.
I saw a video of a guy get sniped with one.
Kill confirmed.
Yeah.
For all my
But-
Call of Duty fans out there.
But what I'm saying is, if the protesters are out there for a reason, I mean, obviously they're doing their thing. With the rioting stuff, I somewhat support, somewhat don't. I both sides. Get the hell out of the way. I mean, first of all, I don't agree with the part of the churches like handing out water, supplies, and they say get off the property. But to get people away, I mean, I know I'm not giving a good argument here, but I'm, just do it. Do it.
So my thing would be the same. If we're grading on a Trump scale of it just being Trump, and you know who Trump is at this point,
Oh, that's a 5.
I would say it's like a 3.5.
Yeah.
Like it's not surprising or egregious given who the president is. If I'm basing it on the presidents of the past, of George Bush, of Barack Obama, of any of them who were incredible orators, they were good at confronting the nation. If nothing else, if their policies were bad, they were at least good at talking
They would have at least held the Bible
the right
side
way up. Then I would give it like a 6 or a 7. But because it's Trump, it's like a 3.5. And what's more egregious to me, because I look at President Trump and him clearing the way, and I can go, okay, they were clearing the way because of rioters for the president. At least there is a reason,
And that's mine.
He initiated it.
I know
He wasn't. He
I
didn't
know
have
that
to be
he
outside.
initiated it,
And
but
he's-
at least there's reasoning. What reasoning is there for destroying a medic tent in Minneapolis? There's no reasoning for that.
You're changing the subject. We can get to
But
that
there's,
again in a minute.
what I'm saying is, in sight of everything else that is going on, I don't think the Trump making a random decision to go to the park, I think that is just kind of with everything. But there are other worse things that have happened in the same time frame and in the same scope
Kinda
of
getting
events of things that
overshadowed.
have happened. Yeah.
All right, it's a 9.5 for me. It's big.
That bad?
It's bad.
In the
Because-
scope of Trump, or just
Period. 9.5. I don't care. I don't care who he is. It's the presidency, right?
yeah,
And one of the tenets of this country, and especially libertarian philosophy, is property rights and being secure. The Fourth Amendment says you're secure in your papers and your possessions, right?
Yeah.
You are secure on your property. Having him show up, no warrant, no reason to be there, no phone call, and you get violently thrown off of your ground, they cause harm to your body and your people, that is beyond the pale. That's everything you need to know about the guy. That's it. I
Yeah.
mean, that is
So,
scorched earth, cannot help
my-
you. You're done. That's Andrew Jackson type stuff. Goodbye.
that's a good way to put it. Through this whole thing, watching President Trump through this whole situation has definitely changed my opinion, because as we got through the end of last year and I received my 401k statement, and I'm just being brutally honest, and I got it, and it had done. I did very well. My retirement plan did very well
I think I
under
did
President
like
Trump.
32%.
And so I thought, wow. And you and I had this conversation where both of us were like, could definitely use another 4 more years of this.
Exactly.
And so I thought, going into the election in November, I thought, if it's close between Biden and Trump, if polling is saying close, I was legitimately thinking that I would vote for Trump. Watching him in these past, because of these different riots, I don't know that I can, because of the way that he's violated multiple amendments to the Constitution. He's bringing in national troops without governor's orders. He's activating the Army National Guard without governors
He has
asking
no
for
concept
it.
of what his authority is or
Exactly.
isn't.
He's
Not a
on
clue.
Twitter going nuts. It's just I don't think that I can support that.
I was in the same boat as you. Obviously, 401k came back, and you're like, "Wow, this is." I could definitely use 4 more years
Yeah,
of
and
32% growth.
I totally recognize that
And-
is such a purely selfish reason.
Yeah, and
If the
so
government gets out of your way, the economy is going to grow anyway.
and a coworker of
It's
mine
always grown over a 10-year period, constantly, every time.
and a coworker of mine had this conversation probably in January. I was like, look, man, I don't care who the Democrats run. I don't think the only way that I think Trump loses this in November is if he shoots himself in the foot. Absolutely. If we have a bad economy and he shoots himself in the foot, that's how he's going to lose. And that's absolutely what he's doing right now. He's taking the gun and shooting himself repeatedly.
He was so big on pushing for freedom. He was so big for pushing for the 10th Amendment whenever the coronavirus lockdowns were happening. And now, all of a sudden, because we have these riots, that goes out the window. Now, all of a sudden, he's the man with the power.
He's not guided in any principles, guys, at all. He's got no guiding compass. There's nothing that says this is what we're going to do and these are our core values.
But then
I'm not convinced that exists.
There are the arguments. This is where I fall away from it. But there are, of course, and I want to make this distinction because I've seen a lot of things. Everyone. If you go on Twitter right now and you say that you're a Trump supporter, then you're going to get called out for being a racist. Well, there's a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump because they support conservative people being placed on the Supreme Court, being placed on the multitude of different national courts that we have. For every single different appointment, they support a conservative being there. That is the same argument that I'm hearing over and over again of why you should vote for Biden, even though he definitely has dementia, because they are going to put a liberal in these positions. I can't understand the reasoning of voting for a person based on appointments when you know that that person isn't really making 100% the decisions. Whenever you become the president, there are so many other things going on. You just rely on advisors constantly.
I still think that one of the problems, that's the deep problem that's causing all of this, is that we've made the presidency too strong.
I agree.
And Gary Johnson talked about that in 2016 about how he wanted to end the imperial presidency. That's the core problem here, is that Congress has made themselves way too weak, and the presidency has become a totalitarian, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And when you got a guy that's on your team, it feels great. When your team's out of power, you end up standing in the street screaming.
We're very competitive.
It
as
was
a
funny,
society.
Jer. It was funny.
Yeah, it was funny.
It was funny.
We're very competitive as a society. So whenever our guy wins or our guy defeats the other people, especially because we love to vote for the victor, but we also love an underdog story. And the fact that MSNBC said that Hillary Clinton had a 99% chance to win the presidency and then Donald Trump won, that made a lot of people like go crazy.
When Donald Trump won, he's not been a great president. Like, he's done some decent things. He's handled this terribly, obviously. But the day he won the election was one of the funniest days of my life.
It was entertaining.
It was
to say
so
anything.
entertaining.
Oh, I'm all with you guys on the entertainment, but now you have to pay for the entertainment. All right. Yeah. With that, that's the end of what I
got
have.
Trump in 7, Jer.
That's in the 7th game?
Yes.
All right. He's going to beat the Lakers?
It's Biden the Lakers.
I'm saying Trump wins the election by 20%.
20 is way too high.
Yeah,
it's going to come down to Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. That's what it's going to be.
Florida will go red again.
You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to worry about it. You can stay home. You can vote for whoever you want to. Your ballot in Indiana is not going to matter. It's going to be Trump, Pence in Indiana, no matter what you do.
That's true.
All right. Final thoughts. We'll start with producer Chris.
Yeah. So I have recently taken up the sport of golf.
Listen to the Patreon if you want to hear the review.
So if anybody that is listening would love to allow a crappy player to join them for a round of golf sometime
In the evenings,
send me a message and I would love to come and play.
I'll play golf with you in the evenings if you come work out with me in the morning.
See,
Dude, I think that's a fair trade-off.
I like to go to sleep.
Weight.
I like to sleep now. I'm a sleeper. That's all I've got.
Jackson had me up at 3:20 this
Not
morning.
3:30.
It's 3:20.
babies love to go to the gym. Take Jackson to the gym.
And I got up, made a bottle, and went back to sleep and woke back up at 4:45. I slept in for 15 more minutes. So I punished myself more and made myself use a sandbag at 50 pounds instead of 40 pounds.
Does he hold his
I'm
own
trying to
bottle
look
now?
at Chris, but he's avoiding my eye contact.
At 5 months, is he holding his own bottle? That's the question Mason's
He's
asking.
3 months.
You got to let him
holding his
try
own
it out,
bottle
man.
already?
No,
Well, you said I made a bottle. And
I
went
made a
back to
bottle.
bed.
Audrey fed him.
You woke her up to feed him?
She woke me up to make a bottle.
Let's talk about baby Jackson for a minute.
Okay.
I remember a gift at Christmas time. Where is
I remember a
Mason's,
gift too.
Mason's face.
Where is Mason's picture?
It's still too big.
he was
It's a
promised-
6 months
not.
onesie.
That baby is big enough to fit in that. You won't even try
You've
it on
never
him.
even seen him
I've
in
seen
person.
pictures, okay? I'm doing my best to stay away from that child. I can carry it.
Yes, and we appreciate that.
What I'm saying is you haven't even tried to put it on him.
I
If you
haven't.
try, I bet it fits nice, comfortable. nice and breezy.
You know what's coming.
Why don't you just
Cool.
lay it over him like a blanket?
No, doesn't work like
You know what's coming is it's going to be, we tried it. It was too small. Sorry.
I know. That's what he's waiting
That
for.
happened. That's happened multiple times.
It's not going to. That's why I ordered it bigger.
You did a good thing. You did a smart thing. People got us custom onesies that were newborn size. My son came out 9 pounds 9 ounces.
That's not newborn
He
size.
was never going to wear a newborn size.
I bet he's already in a 6-month size.
I tried. My grandma got him a onesie.
Check the local listings because they're all different.
Didn't work.
Boy, that started loud.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I think you need to go home. And within the next couple days, try that bad boy on him. And
I'll try this week. I promise.
I will
this
hold that against
weekend.
you. Actually, I have no proof if you do it or not, but
What do you mean?
I will.
I'll have a picture.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll put that in the Patreon group.
I'll have Audrey try to videotape it. And if it's way too big, then I guess that'll probably be kind of funny.
Give you another month, and then I'll fit in it.
Just keep feeding him some of those 3 o'clock in the morning bottles. He'll fit in them.
Yeah.
All right, Chase, final thoughts.
I'm tired, boys.
Are you tired of being essential?
No, I'm not going to say that, Jared. Then I'll get fired. I'm not an idiot. No, you got Corona. You got no sports. Now you got all the riots.
What are you talking about? You got UFC and NASCAR. What else do you need?
NBA
I
is
said
back.
sports. I haven't seen a game yet. I heard they're going to Orlando, though.
It's been approved.
So I'm getting up a little bit, but I'm tired. And I was thinking today that I'm ready for God to just
Take you.
zap us all. No, I'm ready for everyone to just...
Not just you, everyone.
everyone. I'd like to live personally.
You wouldn't take everyone down with you.
Yeah, no,
If
I
I'm
don't.
going,
Personally,
everybody's
I would
going.
like to still be here, but if he could
In all-
zap everyone else,
In all seriousness, the virus has been very taxing on you and the family, right? I mean, it's been,
yeah, my dad had it,
yeah.
but he's fine. But yeah, I'm just ready for God to zap everybody. I was thinking today, I was like, I understand why he flooded the earth now, because if I could, I would.
Does that get rid of the virus?
It might.
Well, all but about 40 cases.
Well, I know a guy with a boat.
That's true.
So-
We could have
Now, there's only
if the whole earth was flooded.
We'll
Jared
just
would
have a bunch
probably
of
find a
rednecks
way.
and John boats.
there's only comfortable seating for 3, so we have to
floating
pick
above
wisely.
the flooded earth.
so Chase is running on the Rapture 2020 platform, basically. is what-
I'm pulling for it.
You know,
I was hoping to
I
get
saw
married
today that the-
first, and
I saw
have
today
a
that the
kid,
rapture
but-
already happened. The rapture already happened.
We
We're
missed
the
it.
ones that are left behind.
we missed it.
So enjoy your 999 more years of this.
Happens every 1,000 years.
The tribulation is
yeah.
over 1,000 years. Don't you know your Bible?
I fell asleep today.
What's wrong with you?
I wouldn't
Watching Hell on Wheels.
See, so your
You
your
kept-
opinion on the Bible incident with Trump doesn't even matter now.
I kept trying to reach you. I called you a couple times. You ignored me.
My girlfriend left me.
Literally? Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. Let's find you a new one.
Not literally,
Oh.
but she doesn't live here anymore.
She
left
moved down
him
there to
physically,
to
but
Appalachia.
not emotionally.
And I've been watching a lot of Netflix, and there's nothing new to watch. So I was watching Hell on Wheels, and I fell asleep.
Now it's.
Have
just
you started
Netflix, not
Space
Netflix.
Force yet?
Chill.
I'm not gonna watch Space.
Is it on there yet?
What about Avatar: The Last
setting up.
Airbender?
I did. I rewatched the whole series. I've
Oh,
already
it's so
finished it.
good.
I want them to do like an adult version,
Is that anime?
and I don't
Is it
mean
considered
porno.
anime?
I mean like something
Yep.
like Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Or porno. If we're honest, I'd probably watch either one.
Oh my gosh.
But
Being
so
real
that's
open
how my
here.
life's going.
His girlfriend's in Tennessee now, so
Katie, you might need to come back very quickly.
you can turn that phone off in incognito mode now.
Chase is going on nearly 2 weeks without seeing her, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Mason.
Netflix is code word.
But hey guys, you got a good score on her test today.
Congrats, Katie.
He said, "That's how my life."
Mason. You got final thoughts?
Is Chase crying?
I think they're happy tears. I don't know.
Tears of desperation.
Katie, come home.
Those are tears and or sweat. We're not for sure yet.
It could be both.
Oh my
It could
God.
be both.
It
I
is
don't know.
about 82 degrees in here right
I
now.
have not left that hard in a long time.
Okay.
All right, Mason, it's your turn.
I don't know. I kind of like this. I want everyone to wish me good luck as I embark on this trip starting at 5 p.m. tomorrow. I'm taking a trip out east to the state of New York with the Morrell / Potter family. It's going to be interesting. No shower for a whole week.
What are you talking about?
No shower for a whole week.
No, you can't come.
No deodorant either.
You're not going to
You
shower.
gotta
No
commit.
deodorant.
You're just going to stay in my trailer and refuse to shower.
And you should.
If I poop,
you should
it's
not
going to
wear
literally
shoes.
sit under me for a week. That's what I'm saying.
They have shower houses and bathhouses.
So if anybody wants to call me on this trip or reach out to me, send me some goodies like last fall, anything really, I wouldn't mind. Also, I play golf too. So if you ask Chris to go golf, I'll come golf with you.
You want to go through golfing with Chris again?
Yeah, I won't wear my watch this time. So
You guys wearing all natural deodorant?
no, I buy the $4 2-pack at Walmart.
I use the Degree.
And it's the
only
same
thing
stuff
that's
he
acceptable.
uses.
I use Fiji, the Old Spice.
oh my goodness.
Old Spice is the word.
Like the stuff that
chocolate,
goes
baby.
through the little holes.
I'm just kidding. I haven't worn Axe chocolate since I was like in middle school.
You would be an Axe guy.
Really should.
Why?
I change it up. I go with
Pores get clogged with
Old Spice. I go with
Parabens
parabens
Axe.
and aluminum.
It's a psychedelic thing. It's
Raises the
it's
estrogen in your
psychology.
body.
So
See, this is why you're so agreeable. This is why you can't argue with me so effectively, because your testosterone levels aren't as high as mine.
Doesn't explain why.
Because I have
You're
clogged
asking
arm
the
have
argument.
pores.
clogged armpit.
No,
pores.
listen. I had a
And
psychology
I bet you rub it
professor.
under your boobs too, don't you?
No, I don't. I got them. I'm trying to
Hey.
get you to get rid of them for me.
Have you not showered one day and you're like, oh, I kind of stink? So you rub it down there a little bit?
No,
You've never done that?
I shower every day, Chase.
You've never like kind of
No, I've never put deodorant on my
was
sack.
Like, oh,
No.
I need to. But you're going to do
No.
something active. It's not like you're just
only
going to
thing-
hang out with a girlfriend or something. Like,
No, Gold Bond.
Not
I
the
use
medicated.
Signal Bond
Not the
too.
medicated.
No, medicated.
No, I use the medication.
Medicated.
I cannot.
No, it feels good.
I cannot
I think it
function
feels
without a
great.
shower in the morning.
Monkey
No
ass.
chance.
see, I
Monkey
can't. I
butt
don't
stuff?
shower in the morning. I shower.
I shower-
when I get home,
You have
and
a-
then after
sound like
anything,
Kevin
I do
Potter.
active.
You have a blue collar job, just like my father-in-law Kevin does, where you go to work and then you come home and you shower. You probably do the same thing, Dakota.
There's no point
because you don't want
me
to shower.
showering
You don't
before
want to
work.
shower twice a day.
Yeah,
Where
I shave it. I shower at night.
I shower in the morning before.
I don't
as
mind
soon as I get
showering
up.
twice a day. It's just knowing as soon as I get out of my truck, I'm going to get really dirty.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like, what's the point?
Yeah. For me, I'm public facing. I'm seeing customers. I'm working
Yeah.
with coworkers, and it wakes me up in the morning to shower, and it's just my routine. And I've
I
done it
used
forever.
to. So
When you were in
all-
high school,
I
did you
just
shower
put
in
a
the
big
morning?
shot.
all through high school,
That's
I
how it
showered in
wakes
the
me up.
morning.
Yeah.
And then I kept that up whenever I got my job as an electrician for a while. And then it was like,
What's
I'm
the
showering twice a day. This is
Yeah.
dumb.
I'm running out of time.
If I had an office job, like when I worked in sales, I think I showered in the morning pretty often.
At least 4 days a week.
At least 4 days a week. Friday's Friday. You do whatever
Casual.
you want on Friday.
It's casual.
I've
Wearing
always been a night
shorts.
person.
You use all natural soap too.
I don't want to. I don't want to go to sleep
You really
dirty.
should.
Would you have no shower
you?
Sunday?
Yes.
No,
I'm
you
dead
don't.
serious.
What,
I
Kroger
love
brand?
this. What?
Kroger brand, all natural.
I use Duke Cannon Supply Company.
Why do you buy the expensive shit?
Look at him. He's a model.
Dude, I
He
don't-
needs
Do you
that
smell
stuff.
me right now?
Hey,
No, I
Dakota,
don't.
I smell great.
Dakota, can you pose like this for us?
I don't have a hat, so no, I can't.
All right, Dakota, final
my
thoughts.
profile picture.
Hold on, Mason. Have you ever caught a northern pike before?
No, about to.
When you catch it, you got to grab it by the eyeballs. That paralyzes them.
By the eyeballs.
It's the same
That's
thing with
true.
a bear,
That's
too.
what,
All right.
literally what you do.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can grab it by the gills, but we always grab them by
Chase,
the eyeballs.
I've never seen you catch a fish.
Oh, really?
Oh, boy.
So
That's false because I got one with Guffey
true.
You did.
can vouch for me.
Never watched him catch one though.
He
I
did
saw you
catch
on a
it.
leash.
I
One on a leash.
literally
saw one
his
on a
pet
leash.
fish. Yeah.
That's it.
You did watch me.
Are
catch
we
one.
done with
I
bases?
got that regular.
No, back to the deodorant thing. I had a psychology
Grab 'em by the
professor,
eyes.
right? Shut up. Psychology professor. He said, "Listen, don't think about it, obviously, but stop wearing deodorant and you won't sweat."
I've heard that. My sociology professor at Ivy Tech said the same thing.
Ross.
Yeah.
He's a weird
Yeah.
guy. Yeah, he probably don't wear deodorant.
He's a sociology professor. They're all weird guys.
Dude wears the same exact clothes every day.
He was a cool guy, though.
He
I
was
think
cool.
he changes his underwear.
I hope. But he likes to think. He said he likes to think of it as a uniform.
He doesn't wear the
He
same
goes-
thing every day. He wears
It's a leather
he's
jacket with a
literally-
tank top and leather
he's got
pants.
multiple of the same
Okay,
outfits.
same outfit. Yes, it's his uniform. That's
Travis
what
Ham is trying to get you killed.
What?
The pike teeth look sharp, but they're actually soft to touch, Mason.
I'm telling you, Mason.
It's
you
the
grab him by
alligator.
the eyes.
It's the alligator of the
I'm not
of
lying
the river.
to you. Look it up on YouTube.
All right, how big is the biggest pike you're going to catch? You think
34
23
pounds.
inches.
23 inches?
Yes.
Oh man, I want a 40 incher at least.
Oh, I never caught one, so I don't know. I'm going to catch it. Anything bigger than Jeremiah.
It's going to be
Because
43
anything
pounds.
Jeremiah pulls in, it's going to fall off the hook by the boat. So, as long as I get a fish in the boat, I might win this
Yeah,
tournament.
you're going to have to get your net game down because you're probably going to have to do
Don't
that.
need a net. You see these?
Oh, it's going to be
That's
legit.
real man right there.
It's going to be legit.
Just
Saturday
move 'em into
or
the boat like a
first
bear.
day we're on the
We
boat.
are, we are
Sunday,
heading to
I don't
the
know.
world's greatest fishery, and it's going to be big. It's going to be fun.
Honestly, we probably won't catch a damn thing. Wasted $28 to go out on their
They're going to
water.
be catching these small little northern pike, and then you're gonna hook onto a huge muskie.
Muskie would be awesome.
That would be
Break
rad.
my
Do
line.
they have any in that lake?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
muskie are out there too.
That'd be
That would
pretty
be a
sweet.
story. That would be cool.
Muskie are there too.
Have you seen that one video of the little kid that catches it with his dad? The really big one.
No.
It'll break my line.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
have. I need to put some new
heartwarming.
line on my rods.
All right. Let's handle this offline, buddy. Dakota, if you got final thoughts.
Yeah, I have a couple final thoughts. First of all, my thoughts go out to basically everybody that's involved in these protests. I 100% support the protests that are going on right now with every bit of my being. I also have a lot of friends, a lot of really good friends that are police officers, especially in our community. Like I said, I'm extremely grateful every day of where I live. I understand where I live, and I understand the implications that come with that. And I also appreciate all of those folks as well. Second of all, you should be wearing all natural deodorant.
I'm not spending the extra money on it.
You should also be showering with all natural soap.
Sometimes
Does
I
it
don't
smell good though?
Sometimes I'm like, do I
Yes.
really need deodorant
It
today?
smells really good.
And I don't go buy it for a
like
couple
is
days.
it 24 hour though?
Yeah.
Mine's 48.
Just don't get the Toms of Maine. That stuff is horrible.
So I had some final thoughts that I had lined up like 2 weeks ago, but it was complaining about police officers, and I'm just gonna let it slide this week because they're going through
Yeah.
a lot.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Want to give another shout out? Yes, and also use all natural soap, and also only
I'll
wash
shower
your,
with it ever show.
Who are you sponsored by?
only wash your
You-
hair with real shampoo once a week.
Okay.
every
These are the
day.
things. No,
Every
You don't
day.
wash your hair every
I wash
every
it
day?
with regular soap.
The viewers are just clicking out in this infomercial. You're
That's
doing,
fine.
Dakota. They are just
That's okay.
bailing.
It's your
Goodbye.
program, not mine.
Goodbye.
Parabens
Goodbye.
and aluminum that clog your pores. They release phytoestrogens.
Right. If I wanted
and
this bullshit, I'd listen to
increase the
Joe Rogan.
estrogen
Hey,
levels in your
what's
body.
that shit you were talking about taking earlier today?
Estrogen.
Just
That's what it
probiotics.
was.
Take probiotics.
Estrogen.
Peanut butter.
I see
flavor.
those tits are.
You're like the fourth guy.
Take-
You're like the fourth person to ask me what supplements I take.
It's
today.
because you post about it every day
Yeah.
on Facebook.
If you're going
now.
to take
I've
probiotics,
only
I don't know
posted
why
about-
they ask me
eat
about
it
it. I just
for
post about
30
it all
to
the time.
45
I
minutes
posted
before
about
a meal.
supplements once
Take your
a day.
vitamin.
It's called microbiome.
Very important. Make sure that you get all of your vitamin
Then
D
eat
right now.
grape nuts.
All of your vitamin C right now. It's very important.
You're
My
crazy.
grandpa used to take his vitamins, and look at him, Dakota. I'm just warning you.
Dakota.
He lived
drinks
a pretty good, happy life.
He
a
looks pretty
glass
good for his
of
age.
ocean spray every night
Hey,
before
Dakota,
bed.
you want me to help you out here so you can finish?
What?
I can help you out.
Don't
You
cut
mute
mics.
everybody?
I
Come on.
Are you on the
It's
prune
okay.
juice yet?
I
too?
didn't remember. I don't remember what my other final thoughts were going to be.
I have one, and it's just for Dakota right here. You know what it is? I'm
What?
proud of you, man. You told us what, this morning or yesterday morning?
Come out of the closet.
225.
This is my deadlift.
Yeah, massive.
I could do that.
You're so strong.
I had 4 45-pound plates on the bar.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
And deadlift's the one's just picking them up around you, right? Is that
Yeah.
deadlift? I
Well,
can do
not
that.
around you. I use a flat bar.
I could do that.
I don't use a round bar.
I
Come
wanna-
with me.
I want
God
to
dang
hold
it.
on.
Don't
I
have a
want
membership.
to see if Mason can.
Is that like
I
your
want to know if
warm-up
Mason
for the-
can
the
do
bigger weights?
225.
I thought
No, I
deadlift
do-
was it's a horizontal bar.
It is.
the hexagon bar.
I did 3 reps of 2 at that.
We
weight.
don't use a hex bar.
I think-
Why?
I
You
think
gotta
I
use-
could do
you gotta use a straight bar.
225.
Probably. You could. You're a big guy.
Yeah,
You
I
could do it.
was going to say, I'm damn sure I could do 225.
Yeah.
That's
Easy.
what I'm thinking. Easy for me.
All right, final thoughts for me.
They call me the Hoss.
I train with Kevin Potter. I am a lumberjack.
Mason did take down 2 pine trees with an axe 2 weeks ago.
Less than 25 swings.
Well, I don't have all my teeth.
Neither.
On the
Neither does
protester,
Sarah.
on the protester issue, she does now. I made sure before I married her. On the protester issue and the police issue, everybody's an individual, and we really think as a society we try to put everybody in buckets and in lumps, and every protester is not the same. The actions of one protester don't speak for all of the other protesters, just like the actions of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 police officers in Minneapolis do not speak for all police officers in Minneapolis. Yes, we have very real problems in the country. Yes, we're trying to work on it. Country's never been perfect, never will be perfect, but we're trying. We're working on it. So with that, I thank everybody for listening to the show. Once again, thank Zach Burcham for helping us out last week when Dakota had to be a hero and was working and doing the dad stuff. We are off next week. We're going to come back. Mason's going to have 7 digits, but some fish stories. So with that, we're going to come back next week. And do we want to announce our guest or in 2 weeks who our guest is going to be? Is that
in
confirmed?
2 weeks on June the 18th, our guest is going to be Chad Rowe, who is from the Underdogs Tattoo Gallery. I just got a sweet portrait that was done by Zach Lohorn, a portrait of Johnny Cash on my right arm from Underdogs Tattoo Gallery. Chad also tattooed. Chad, we're showing it to the camera. Chad
Bill
also.
Clinton?
What? What'd you say?
Is that Bill Clinton?
Yeah. Chad also tattooed Post Malone twice, so that'll be a cool story to hear. So we're really excited to talk to Chad about basically everything about what it takes to just run a local business and also getting to tattoo a world superstar.
And fighting through a pandemic all at the
Yeah.
same time. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate the support. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you for listening to the Boss Hog of Liberty, which is part of the We Are Libertarians Network. I am Chris Spangle, and I am the founder of this network, and I invite you to listen to all of our shows, which you can find at wearelibertarians.com or by searching for these in your podcatcher. The flagship show is the We Are Libertarians podcast, where we apply libertarian principles to current events. The Brian Nichols Show is a conversation amongst Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independents, as they talk about what is happening in the news. And we have many other podcasts like The Chris Spangle Show, Upward, The Cost, Raw Audio Politics, Miranda's World, and Tad Talk, which is quite a ride. So check all of these out. Go to wearelibertarians.com and you can check out all of our great podcasts. Thanks for listening. Thank you for listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Get our other shows at wearelibertarians.com.